What's up, guys? So today we're going to be doing a 7-round Saints mock draft 2 times over. I'll actually be attending the combine tomorrow, which is defensive backs, and today is the first day of the combine, which I believe is D-line and linebackers possibly. So hopefully I'll be able to get some solid videos to use for some of those prospects. And actually, this is the time where the mock drafts will get a really big shakeup, because believe it or not, the combine makes a massive difference. Not only is it the athletic training and testing, but it's also like team interviews. GMs get to see what's going on, and they get to tell the media what they're thinking about doing, and what they think other teams will be doing. You guys got to see what the combine did for some prospects last year. And for the Saints, they have a lot of things that's going on. They might try and go get Derek Carr, and that will make a big difference on what they do in the draft. Is Michael Thomas going to be coming back? And there's suspensions looming for Alvin Kamara and Marcus Maye. So there's a lot going on, and we'll find out more of what happens after free agency and after the combine, so closer to the draft. But we're going to go ahead and do a 7-round, the first one here. And like I said, the second one, I'm going to try and switch up as much as I can. I decided that I'm just going to go ahead and go fast space. So PFF actually added a new setting. I forgot to show you guys it, but it's like a thing that factors in the public big board and then the PFF big board. So for the second one, I'm going to go ahead and change that. But anyway, first pick, they picked this up with the Sean Payton trade, and I kind of like where they're sitting with it. Depending on who falls to them, they really do need to address the defensive line. It's going to be a big problem come free agency. As you guys can see, I'll show you here. Lots of free agents, especially in the defensive line department. So Davenport, he'll probably be gone. Onyemata might be gone. A lot of people think they're going to go to the Falcons. They need some help at QB. Wide receiver is going to be thin. Maybe some secondary safety, kind of getting thin. But I don't really like the safety prospects or the cornerback prospects at this spot. I feel like it'd be a reach. And I'm really liking defensive line, especially these edge players up here. And I think that because of Nolan Smith's injury, it allowed him to fall this far. And I feel like it would be kind of silly of the Saints to pass on him if he did end up falling this far. Some of the other prospects that I like at this spot, if he were to fall to us, would be Zay Flowers if Michael Thomas decides to leave. Bijan Robinson, Kamara's 28. If they end up going Robinson, I would feel like that'd be a moving on point. And honestly, they're going to need running back to start the year. So if he falls, they could get him. I'm a big fan of Kamara, so I don't know how I'd feel about that, but I would understand it. Kalijah Cansey, I would like him. They need interior defensive line help the most. And he's a beast, but he's been getting a lot of hype recently, so he may not fall this far. And then last guy I was kind of looking at would be Michael Mayer, but he obviously went pretty high in this draft. Right here, the Jags. The Jags just said they're going to re-sign or tag Evan Ingram. So everyone was saying that'd be a good pick, but anyway, back to the Saints. I'm going to go Nolan Smith here. I like that pick a lot. And we're right back up. And this is why that's a little bit of a controversial pick, is because there's some good edge players that still fall to 40. BJ Ojulari, Keon White, they have ranked pretty low, but I feel like he's definitely going to go in the top 40. Round 2, they should be looking at possibly running back. I would only go running back if Jahmyr Gibbs falls here. Robinson won't, for sure. Maybe even looking at secondary here, so we'll see who falls this far. I really like Cam Smith here. This would kind of fit the other side of Lattimore. I really like Delonte Taylor. I don't know. Paulson Adebo was kind of rough this year, and outside of that, Marcus Maye is going to be getting suspended probably off of I believe it was like a traffic stop battery charge or something. And then Tyrann Mathieu will be there. He had a decent year. But Marcus Maye didn't have a good year, and then their backups aren't that good. But I think we're going to go ahead and go I would be looking at Cam Smith or Emmanuel Forbes here. I like Ringo. Ringo might end up in this conversation come after Friday because he might blow the 40-yard dash away. So we'll see. I would have picked Banks if he fell here, so I think I'm gonna be able to go Cam Smith. I would have liked if Antonio Johnson fell here too because they need safety help, and he did not fall. So here we're in the third round. You know, one thing I do have to bring up is quarterback, and it's not a reach at all to pick Hendon Hooker at 40. I think that's a very, very strong possibility. They've been reported to be having intensive or deep conversations with Hendon Hooker, which is good. I would not mind even if the Saints signed Derek Carr if they traded up for Anthony Richardson or got Hendon Hooker. Going off for Anthony Richardson would cost a ton, so maybe that's not as smart as one would think, but it might be worth it. Richardson has a very, very high ceiling, so could be worth it. Anyway, getting back to round 3 here, we'll see if Hendon Hooker falls. He does. I don't know. I'm a little bit at a toss up here because I don't feel like he's actually gonna fall that far come real draft time. So, I've had Darnell Washington fall to 71. I like him a lot. The Saints do need a tight end if they don't sign Juwan Johnson back. Let's take a look at their depth chart. Juwan Johnson, Adam Trotman was kind of a bust. Taysom Hill, he's not really a tight end. He's just a beast, really. I like Johnson, but is he really going to be a long-term tight end? We'll see. But I don't like the tight ends at 71 here. That's too much of a reach, in my opinion. We already went cornerback. Ringo didn't even fall. I like Phillips. He would be a good pick here. Another guy that's going to blow away the combine is going to be Devon Achane. We already went cornerback. We went edge, so I think it's time to go offense, and I like Achane. He has insane speed. He's a track athlete. All right, so round 4, there's actually a lot of guys that I like here that I've had fall to me in different mock drafts. I like Dwayne McBride. He's not, we already got a running back, obviously. I don't think he's going to go this high. Some of the people that I was looking at here was Ojomo. I like him a lot. Saints need a ton of interior defensive line help. I've actually had one of the UC guys. Let's see where he went. Should be up here. Okay, so they have him going at 98. I like Tyler Scott a lot. Super fast. Quick little shout out to these Cincy guys. I go to UC, so I have to, you know what I mean? Ivan Pace, he's going to be a beast, at least at blitzing. He was a beast this year. I think he was one of the top 2 players in the PFF grading system overall. And the second was Corleone, which is a defensive tackle for the UC. And then also Trey Tucker, he's going to be super fast, and he's going to run. They're both going to run Saturday, I believe. So if Tyler Scott would have fallen, I would have picked him up here. Some other guys I liked were Andrew Voorhees. However, this is going to depend on whether or not they decide to cut one of their guards due to cap problems, because the Saints, they're always millions and millions deep into cap debt, but cap god Mickey Loomis always finds a way to get them under it somehow. I liked some of the edge players that I've had fall to me here. KJ Henry from Clemson, I like him. I like DJ Turner a lot. Don't think he'll fall to the 4th round. I also like Roshan Johnson if we don't go running back in one of the top 3 rounds. He was actually behind Bijan Robinson. We weren't able to see much of him. I'm going to go Ojomo. Now we have Nolan Smith and Ojomo. Pairing that with Cam Jordan, and hopefully Peyton Turner pans out eventually. Maybe we can bring back David Onyemata, and then you're looking at a pretty solid D-line then. Winning Super Bowls starts at the trenches, so good O-line, good D-line. The Saints have a pretty solid O-line. Hopefully Penning can stay healthy next year. And I'm really liking the way the roster's turning out so far, if this is how the draft's going to go. Round 5. So they have 2 round 5 picks here. I believe they're only 15 picks away from each other. I've had Michael Wilson fall here from Stanford a few times. I like him. I'm not sure I really like any of these guys at 148. Seems kind of like a stretch or a reach, excuse me. Although, not to knock any of these guys. But also, sorry if I'm skipping over some of the players you see on here and not mentioning them. Some of the players I just haven't looked into too much yet. I'm kind of still getting into actually watching tape and, you know, figuring out how to scout players legitimately instead of just looking at them and seeing like how they're ranked. So I'm still working on that. You know, I actually don't really like the way this draft panned out so far. A lot of the players I have that I thought would fall here have not, but that's okay. There's still plenty of good players left. And I really like edge right here. I personally believe these 4 guys are going to be better than these 4 guys. So I'm looking here. I know I just trashed on the receivers, kind of. I actually don't mind some of these guys. Raheem Jarrett, Andre Yosevas maybe. But I'm going to go edge. That's going to put our D-line having 3 D linemen so far. Controversial. I think I'm going to go Tyler Lacey here. Believe it or not, I feel like my second one may have been Isaiah Land. I think he's going to blow away the combine today. The other 2 were good too, but here's our second 5th round pick. And one position we haven't gone yet, and I was waiting for this pick, is quarterback. And I am going to go Stetson Bennett, believe it or not. Dude just has it in him. He's won 2 national titles in college. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised at how good he is, whether or not that's as a backup quarterback or, you know, if he gets a chance to start. But I actually kind of like Stetson Bennett, and I have some Georgia friends that may be making me slightly biased too. So at least he could be a backup to Derek Carr or Jameis Winston. We'll see. All right, so far we have not gone receiver yet, and I would have liked Bryce Ford Wheaton here. Went 2 picks in front of us. But in the 7th round, you're kind of looking for special teams players or someone that you feel like deserves a shot at a chance on your roster, your 53-man roster. As tempting it is to go Trey Tucker here, out of bias, I'm going to actually go Jaden Hasselwood because he's a bigger guy, and that's what the Saints are going to need if Michael Thomas leaves. Chris Olave is smaller. And then they have Rashid Shaheed as kind of the fast guy, which would probably be what Trey Tucker's going to kind of be when he gets drafted. And I'm actually going to throw a wild card at you guys here. The last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, the Saints apparently own that. I don't know if compensation's been officially determined yet, compensatory picks, but I'm going to go kicker because Will Lutz did not have a good year this year. I know he's coming off of an ab surgery, which is tough. I feel like you use your abs for a lot more than a lot of people would realize. But I'm gonna go kicker here, and there's some good ones. There's some decent ones. Nothing like Evan McPherson, but I'm gonna go ahead and go Jake Moody here. I believe he was the one that had a pretty good Senior Bowl. I don't think PFF's gonna like the draft here. We'll see. They've been kind of generous recently. Yeah, not a fan. They didn't like this, especially didn't like this Tyler Lacey pick. I think they believe it's a reach, which I understand, but I like the top 3 here. At the end of this video, I'll show you some good ones that I liked that I've gotten through. All right, so here goes the second attempt at this mock draft for the Saints. I'm going to take it off of default settings, believe it or not. I'm going to go more PFF's board. We're going to drop this. Move this up a little bit. And I've done probably over 150 mock drafts, just going through it over and over because I cannot stand the wait until the draft. You might be saying like, oh, you're changing the settings, it's going to mess up the way the draft goes, which is true, but that's the point. And the guy I wanted to fall fell, and I'm sure you can see who that was. I talked about it earlier. That's going to be Bijan Robinson. He's a beast. If he falls to 29, that's not a reach, in my opinion. Kamara's going to get suspended for probably at least 6 games, so maybe they move on. Like I said, he's 28, so we're not really sure what's going to happen there. But they still need to address D-line, and that's where the second round comes in here. I'm looking at Keon White. Let's go check out secondary. I don't think Tyreek Stevenson is going to be a first round pick. I like him here, but we have bigger needs. I like Darnell Washington. That could be an option, but once again, not the biggest need. And then, you know, Saints fans are very accustomed to Hendon Hooker's name, but I'm really hoping that maybe he falls to us in the 3rd round in this mock draft. But I'm actually going to go back, and we are going to go ahead and take Keon White. We wait for the 3rd round pick here, and we started off there with running back and edge player, addressing 2 of our biggest needs. And this is my favorite pick so far in where the Saints are positioned at. A ton of good players are going to fall to 71, as you can see. Ringo would be a good pick here. I like Jordan Battle. Haven't talked about him much. I like Michael Wilson. I already got Devon Achane in the last one. Jalen Hyatt's a speedster. So if Michael Thomas leaves, maybe they could go Hyatt. But like I said, we kind of already got a speedster on our team. I like Keanu Benton. But you already saw me check it out. We got to go ahead and Hooker. Like, imagine how exciting it would be with this new offense. So far, this would be probably one of the best drafts the Saints had in a while in terms of excitement, like getting Hendon Hooker, getting Bijan Robinson, getting an edge player, so filling a need. So here at 115, 2 players that I'm looking at are DJ Turner, and just wait. On Friday, you'll see he's gonna surpass these 2 on the leader or on the ranking probably. I don't know if this is official yet, but you'll just see what DJ Turner can do in that. He's ridiculously athletic. Another player I'm looking at is KJ Henry. I liked what he did in Clemson. I feel like the way they run their defense is a little bit disadvantageous for linemen. I don't know. I don't think I can pass up the athleticism of DJ Turner. Hey, just wait for it. You'll see. Basically, we have cornerback, we got running back, we got quarterback, we got our edge lineman. I mean, that fills up a lot of our needs so far. I feel like you could go someone like Anthony Richardson or Hendon Hooker, maybe Tanner McKee, even if you get Derek Carr. And that obviously depends on the contract length and all, but I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of signing a veteran quarterback and trying to make it work. I mean, it really hasn't worked for a lot of teams. Like, just look at the Colts. Didn't work for them. Hasn't worked out for the Commanders. I'm just not a fan of that strategy. I feel like you have to find your young guy, try and stick with them, try and develop him, and easier said than done, of course, but I really feel like that's the move for the Saints, whether or not that's this year's draft or next year's draft. And next year has some really, really good quarterbacks, so I'm excited to see what they do. If they don't do good next year, Saints fans, there's not much to worry about. We have our 1st round pick so far. Hopefully we don't trade that away. And if we do good, we do good. Can't be mad about that. There's going to be good quarterbacks that fall later in that draft anyway. So here in round 5, I'm looking at some of the positions I haven't addressed yet. And that's going to be interior offensive lineman, which might be a need depending on if they decide to cut anyone. Looking at receiver, possibly tight end might be a problem. I haven't drafted safety really, and I haven't drafted linebacker. I've had Owen Papo fall here a few times, which I like. He didn't fall this time. Won a few picks before us. I think he's going to be the fastest linebacker at the combine. We'll find that out tonight. I just think that they need a little bit of wide receiver depth. I don't think Deontay Hardy and Callaway are going to do it. They're kind of declining. Like the one year where they were the starters, they did what they had to do. But here, I'm going to go with the receiver that I feel comfortable with. And that's going to be Jonathan Mingo, actually. I like Dontavion Wicks and Raheem Jarrett. But Mingo had a decent Senior Bowl. And I'm kind of a little biased because of the Ole Miss receivers that have come out of there recently. In DK Metcalf and AJ Brown. And There was another one, I'm forgetting his name. But yeah, we're gonna go with Mingo here. At 167, I'm looking at defensive line again, and I don't know. It's gonna be hard to pass up some of these guys. I could go interior offensive line. I like Antonio Mafi. I've said that in multiple videos now, but I don't know. I don't really like the tight ends that fall to us. Josh Wiley, I'm not the biggest fan of him. Luke Schoonmaker, he's all right. I don't think you get tight end this far down the draft and they can make a very big impact. I'm kind of at a toss-up here between Ali Gay and Isaiah Land. I like Dylan Horton too, but I think I'm going to go Ali Gay just because I haven't been able to talk about him yet. And he had a good Senior Bowl. He actually got a sack in the Senior Bowl. I feel like he's a little bit slept on. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was just when he stood next to Brian Kelly coming out of the tunnel. Like, bro just looks like a monster. He's a long defensive lineman. He's physical. I'm not sure how his run defense is, but I feel like he has the potential to develop into a pretty good defensive lineman, similar to BJ Ojulari, but obviously Ojulari has a lot more going for him there. All right, so I'm not sure really what happened there. There was some type of microphone lag on those last two picks. But basically, I went with Nick Saldivari out of Old Dominion at 229. I was saying that I hadn't addressed offensive line yet. You know, with the way the Saints have been getting injured, they may need some better backups. I wasn't very familiar with some of the names at 229 that were there. And then at 260, once again, I did this in the Bengals mock draft too, but I went with Jay Ward. I think he's one of the better players that may not get drafted. Why not take him at 260, make him Mr. Irrelevant, and hopefully he can, you know, make some contributions at special teams. I have a few other drafts that I'm going to throw up on the screen that you guys can see that I was a fan of. The way they changed their board and the settings makes a big difference throughout time. So after this draft, or after the combine, it's going to be massively different. So maybe I'll go ahead and make another video. I'll be making another Saints mock draft eventually. But give me any of the teams that you guys like. I'll do a mock draft, 7-round mock draft for them. So yeah, the defensive line and linebacker drills are going on right now. Just got word that Kalijah Cansey ran a 4.78 and Brian Bresee ran a 4.92. So those are two solid times for some of the top prospects. Obviously their 10-second split is a little bit more important. But, you know, Saints fans, we obviously know that interior defensive linemen are going to be someone to keep an eye on. So that's a good sign. Maybe a bad sign. Maybe that pushes them a little bit further into the Saints, or out of the Saints range. Most likely I'll be seeing you guys after the combine. That will be another 7-round mock draft for maybe the Seahawks. But Saints fans, hope you like what you saw. Let me know what I should do different, who you liked, who you think they should go with. And I'll see you guys in the next one.